Hey friends, it's Dave, and I'm counting down the top 10 most played games from the past couple months. I had personal life and didn't actually get to play as many games the past few months as I normally do, what with Thanksgiving and all, but counting down the top 10. Number 10 on my list is Betrayal. Played this around Halloween time a few times. Played the base version. This is the legacy version that I have, but played a few scenarios. It was a blast. You know, it's a haunted house. You were flipping tiles and placing them until somebody goes insane, and then you go through a book and you look at the scenario for where you were when you went insane. You know, this is definitely a casual game that people I was playing with. You know, they're not very rules heavy, and that's what's great about Betrayal is it's very accessible. It's not a very hard teach. And yeah, Halloween, that's why I got to the table. Number 10 on my list of most played games was Betrayal. Number 9 on my list of most played games the past few months has been Maximum Apocalypse. This is the Legendary Edition, Maximum Apocalypse from Rock Manor Games. You're going to be exploring a scenario of a type of apocalypse. Could be a bug apocalypse, a robot apocalypse, a zombie apocalypse. Played this one around Halloween time a few times. Played it at 2 players, and I enjoy it. They have a second edition out that addresses some of the setup. I haven't looked up the rules of how the setup changes. I don't know if that can be applied retroactively to if you have the first version of the game or not. But I do know that there's a second version edition that addresses some of the concerns that people had critiquing that the setup can be lengthy. Personally, I didn't really find it super lengthy to set it up. There's not a ton of things. You're just going through a scenario, looking up the tiles that you need for it and also the cards you need for it, shuffling them up together. Not a huge deal. But the newer version apparently makes it the setup that much quicker so that every scenario you don't have to do the looking through specific stacks. But what I like about Maximum Apocalypse is that there's a bunch of different characters that feel unique, and we're just trying to survive and, you know, grab our gas cans to make it out to fuel up our car and get out of the zombie apocalypse, or, you know, one of the other scenarios. And the replayability with all the different scenarios is what makes this one shine. This is definitely one that I'm holding on to. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. I only played it maybe like once a month, but it's something that I really enjoy when I do get to play it. And I don't foresee it leaving my collection for a long time because there's a wealth of content in this that I'm really enjoying. So that's Maximum Apocalypse from Rock Manor Games. On the games I played the most this past couple months has been Vampire the Masquerade Rivals. I received from World of Darkness and Renegade Games Studios. This one is shining at 3 and 4 players. You can play it at 2, but you're going to want some expansions, and you're going to want to have to modify the decks to really make it shine at 2. For me, it's been working at 3 and 4, and that's because there's some cards that refer to voting mechanics and like some effects that are just better with one faction when there's more players in the game. So I've been treating this like a 3 or 4 player game, although I have played a couple games at 2. This is one that I've been doing a few times a month. Halloween was just a little while ago. It seems like forever now since we're already at Christmas, but I played this the most in October, but I did get it to the table in November and earlier this month as well. I'm still learning the expansion content, and I haven't done any deck building myself really. I've just been sticking with those pre-constructed decks. The core game comes with 4, and then I think I have the first 3 expansions that have 2 each. So I have the first 10 factions. I'm not going to dive into deck building for a foreseeable future with this one because I want to really get my play out of those pre-constructed decks before I start modifying them, because I don't want to like have them too improperly balanced against each other for when people come over. but I do know that this is one of those games where they do have events for it. So if you are into that competitive scene, they have on their website a list of stores that run events where people will be more competitive with the deck building. But for me, this has been shining at the 3 and 4 player count as just a casual kitchen game. Yeah, we're Vampire the Masquerade rivals, the expandable card game expandable card game is a lot better than random booster packs, which was way back in the day. There was a very similar game, and it was a CCG collectible card game. So I really like that it's changed into the expandable card game model. It's a lot better for consumers, no wasted product, more environmentally friendly, and a lot better on people's wallets. Yeah, so if you love vampires, this might be something to check out. There's not too many games, I think, that really are heavy on vampires. And if you're looking for one that has that theme, yeah, Vampire the Masquerade Rivals. Number 7 on my most 10 played games the past few months has been Side Effects from Pillbox Games. This is a party game. So in Side Effects, you're gonna have ailments, and they could be psychological with depression, or they could be, you know, a drug addiction. And then you're gonna be curing them with therapy or taking pills. Yeah, and you're just trying to get rid of all your side effects before someone else. There is trigger warning. One of the cards does mention like suicidal thoughts. So, I mean, you can take that as you will. It'll either be something your group finds hilarious or something that you're like, yeah, no. For me, I don't have problems with that. I mean, there's no swears or anything like that. There's just only like 6 or 7 different real cards. And then there's the cures to those ailments, like depression, and you're having an episode, and you give them an episode, and then they have to go through the negative side effects of what depression does or in the game. They might have to discard their hand, they might have to get more. This, you definitely want more players. Played this at 4 and at 5. It does say you can play 2 to 8 on the side of the box. You're gonna want like 4 or 5 players to really make this one shine. It's Side Effects from Pillbox Games. Small box, take it with you. Very easy rules, very easy to play. But yeah, it's a tiny little fun. I like it. At the 6th most played game from the past few months has been Kapow from Wise Wizard Games. Now, this game is a head-to-head battler. You're going to be throwing dice, then using the sides of those dice to assign to places on your player board, whether you're going to attack, defend, or upgrade your dice. So you have some colored dice, and then you have some blank dice that you can add sides to. So you're going to be strategically upgrading your dice so that you have more dice. You have specific colors you want, so that ultimately you can trigger special abilities when you roll them and deal more damage or defend better or trigger other special abilities. There are variable player powers. You can play straight up head to head, no special abilities, same starting life, or use those variable player powers where you have a different starting health. You have a player power that might aid you. You have a different dice pool that you start the game out with, and that's where things get a little more interesting. Now, I haven't played it so much that I'm tired of all the characters in this base game. They do have an expansion. Haven't played that yet. That expansion adds more characters to play with. Also, it adds more dice so that you can go from playing 2 players to playing 3 or 4 and have like a free-for-all or a team battle. I've only played one-on-one with the base box, but playing 3 or 4, my play group, to be quite honest, I play more at the 2-player head-to-head. Those are my favorite type games. I don't know necessarily if I need more characters for this. However, if this is a system you do enjoy, then that is available to you if you want more characters, or if you like playing 3 or 4, you get the volume 2, then you have more dice so that you can have more players in the game. So yeah, the ease and accessibility of teaching Kapow is what's made it the 6th most played game over the past few months for me. It's really simple. Just roll your dice, assign it to spots on your player board, add sides to upgrade your dice or get more dice, so that the next turn you can make a bigger, more powerful attack or defense, or just lean in and really upgrade so that you can have a really swingy, powerful turn and knock your opponent out. That's Kapow from Wise Wizard Games. Number 5 on my most played games the past few months has been Dice Throne from Roxley Games. I received the Season 1 and Adventures from Roxley, and then I traded for Season 2 myself because I really like this game and I wanted more characters, so I traded some games I wasn't using for all the characters in Season 2. This has been a little more strategic than the previous game that involved dice, but what I like about this is, yeah, that it's a little more strategic. And I feel once someone has a handle over the, a lot of the people I play with aren't heavy gamers. So Dice Throne has been like a step up in evolution of complexity on what I've been teaching people that are newer to games. So like, you know, my girlfriend, we played that other dice game and now she understands how that works. And then now we can play Dice Throne because now it adds cards and it's a little more complicated, right? We're working our way up with more complex things. However, there's nothing wrong with things that aren't super complex. This is very mid-weight game, but there are strategic depth into what you're going to be doing with your rolls, which cards are you going to be using, which combos you're going to be using. That's not to say that it can't be swingy. At the end of the game, you're rolling dice, so it's random, right? But you're mitigating that randomness with your cards to change the values of faces so that you can pull off your combos and attack your opponent. I think I should do at some point a comparison between Kapow and Dice Throne, but I feel that they're unique enough that they both warrant in my collection inclusion, and I've been playing both. Dice Throne has been getting more play for me, but I've been playing both because it's been easy to just like teach Kapow to someone and then go from Kapow to Dice Throne, especially with people that aren't super into games. There's more of Dice Throne out there because there's Season 1, Season 2, and now there's Marvel. I don't have Marvel. Been just working with Season 1 and Season 2, and I think, oh, for now, that's plenty of content for this for me. Eventually, I'd probably like Marvel, but at the moment, I'm just having a lot of fun with the base couple seasons, and because that's like, what, 16 characters? There's 8 characters in Season 1, and then Season 2, you can get a box like this with all 8, or there's a bunch of battle boxes. So I traded with a friend some games I wasn't using, and they gave me all 4 of the battle boxes for Season 2. So yeah, that's 16 characters, so that's plenty of variability to last a long time. You're not going to be getting tired of Dice Throne very easily. You can play it a significant amount of times before you're like, oh, I'm sick of this character. And because I have like the 2 seasons, I feel like every time I play, I'm just pulling out a random character, so I haven't gotten sick of it at all. They do have the adventures. I've been iffy on the adventures. I thought I would like adventures a lot more than I actually did once I sat down to play it. I haven't finished the campaign yet. Still working my way through that, but I feel that I personally enjoy just the base Dice Throne more than adventures. And I can definitely recommend to anybody Dice Throne because I love it. So yeah, that was my 5th most played game the past few months has been Dice Throne from Roxley Games. Number 4 most played game the past few months has been actually The Lost Expedition from Osprey Games. So this is a cooperative card game where you're managing your health and ammunition and food as you try to find, get through the jungle. There is an expansion that adds the Fountain of Youth. I've been playing the base game a lot, not so much the expansion. The expansion, you're looking for El Dorado. I like this base game, and it has fantastic artwork. It's random and hard. This would be like the smallest, weirdest complaint. My complaint about this game isn't even the game. It's that it's such a nice insert that perfectly fits everything that you can't fit the expansion in it without just getting rid of that insert. And just aesthetically, I don't know, I don't want to do that because it's like perfect and it doesn't take up way too much space. Fits like right here perfectly. But yeah, no, if I were to sleeve it, then it wouldn't fit. So I mean, and you know what, that's just the most minor minutia quabble is that, oh, I can't sleeve this and make it fit. But if ever down the road that this became popular enough to reprint, if the box was just a smidgen little bigger so that you could fit, maybe if they did a deluxe reprint that had both the Fountain of Youth expansion in here and just a little bit more room so I could fit it sleeved. That's not even the game. You're flipping over cards. It'll be like a problem. Well, what do we do? How do we get through this? Are we going to take away from our health? From which character? Okay, now the night has come and it's a new day and we're losing food and you're just trying to survive. And it's about, you can mitigate certain cards, just trying to survive. And it's way more harder than you'd think. So you can play this solitaire or with a couple people. I really enjoy this. I don't really see anybody talking about this at all. I've had this for a few years now. It was gifted from Osprey Games. I've liked pretty much all their games that I've received, like Judge Dredd and Imperium Legends, but Lost Expedition of the games that I played so far is my favorite Osprey game. And yeah, got to the table a bunch the past couple months. So yeah, I definitely recommend checking it out if you have the chance. The Lost Expedition. Coming in at number 3 on my most played games over the past few months has been Cascadia from AEG. This is one of my favorite games, and it's very cathartic to me because it's puzzly, thinky. You're drafting tiles of habitats and then placing an animal each turn. So you're putting your tile, making biomes match to get consecutive biomes or to get certain patterns for different animals to get scoring points. I think I want to say I've had this almost 2 years now, and it's become one of my favorite games that I have. I definitely recommend this to anyone. It's very accessible because it's not overtly complicated. I do like really thinky, puzzly games. This hits that without being too thinky. Like, you're not suffering from analysis paralysis by having super long turns with it. You can do a turn in a minute. I mean, some people might take a couple minutes, but most of the time everyone's doing it in a minute each turn. So the game flows by really quickly. And yeah, what can I say? I like the variability because you can switch up the animals for the end of game scoring. There's some different cards, so it's not always the same point structure. They do have an expansion to this. I have not played the expansion. but this base game right here is enough enjoyment out of the box. Cascadia from Flat Out Games and AEG, definitely one of my favorite games. Got it a lot to the table this November last month. We're in December now. I haven't played it in December. I played it a lot in November and a few times in October, and that's why it's my third most played game over the past couple months. Cascadia. Number 2 on my list of the most played games has been Marvel Legendary from Upper Deck Entertainment. So I've played this a metric buttload over the past year. I was gifted the core game and then 5 expansions from Upper Deck, and I enjoyed it so much that I went and I bought some more expansions myself. So when they sent this to me, it was the base game and then like 5 of the newer ones at the time. It was like Black Widow, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Revelations, and the other one escapes my mind. And I just really love the variable setup. Each time you're going to choose a few different heroes, a big bad guy mastermind, a scheme which alters how the game is played each time, and henchmen and villain groups. And yeah, you're just trying to battle those henchmen and take down the mastermind before they're able to win with their scheme. Each of the sets adds a few different masterminds and heroes and more schemes. I ended up buying the Fantastic Four expansion because I love Fantastic Four, and I tracked down a copy of Dark City. I bought those. Dark City was like a big box expansion. I don't know if it's out of print or it's like limited stock now. That added a lot more variability to this game, and they actually, so I sent a follow-up email to them, and they're sending they have a new core set, Doctor Who, and a few more expansions. And then also Black Friday, I got a deal. I bought some more expansions. So I'm going to be playing a lot of Legendary. I already am, but I'm going to be playing it a lot this next year. I love the variability of it. I see other people complaining about the setup, and I'm like, I don't understand, because you can just, every time you go to play the game, you pick a scheme. So you just do that at random, pick a random scheme, and then you follow the instructions. So it'll tell you, oh, you chose this mastermind, so you need to use this villain group with it. Okay, whatever, you have to dig through the pile of cards, but no big deal. Organization, that's a separate issue than the actual setup and tear down. And like the tear down, because it's a deck builder, you just got to separate the hero cards. It's not super complicated. The reviews I've seen online, a lot of people trash it for the setup and tear down time, but comparatively to some big Kickstarter miniatures games, it's the same or even less time to actually set up. And because it's not overtly complicated, I know I keep saying that in this video over and over again, it's not super difficult to grasp how the game plays. You're starting off with a few officers that recruit and have power, and you have the headquarters where there's 5 heroes from the heroes decks that are shuffled up, and so you're going to recruit new heroes from the HQ that go into your deck that you shuffle, and you get new cards from every turn to ultimately be taking down the henchmen that are moving through the city. And ultimately you're going to get strong enough where you can start fighting the mastermind, and you're trying to do that before the deck runs out or they finish the goal of the scheme, because every scheme can wildly change how this game is. And that's why part of the reason why I love this game so much is because of all those different schemes. And I was like, I found myself, I spent a couple $100 on expansions already to this. I bought Dark City, Fantastic Four, I bought the Realm of Kings, I bought Fear Unknown. I bought those 4 expansions earlier this year around summer, and then on Black Friday I just spent another $100 on this game. I bought World War Hulk. I purchased I want to say it's Annihilation. I bought the Marvel Noir expansion, and I bought the I forget. I bought another expansion. I spent another $100 buying expansions, and I sent the follow-up to Upper Decks saying that I love this game, and they're sending me a few more expansions from the newer content. The What If and Midnight Suns and Infinity Gauntlet and Secret Wars. So yeah, I'm gonna be having a load of content to be playing with for the foreseeable future. This is definitely something that's never leaving my collection. I like it that much. And when I'm making like a list of top games, this is right up there. It gets to the table a lot. Every single month this whole year, I've played a ton of Legendary. Some months more than others. This past few months, this was my second most played game. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoy it. The only negative about it is like, yeah, I just dropped a couple $100 buying card sleeves. It's a deck builder. You're gonna want to sleeve this. So because of the amount of cards, if you buy expansions, you're gonna spend a lot on sleeves. But actually, I picked up a good deal Black Friday on some BCW sleeves. So I bought 6,000 sleeves, so I'm gonna get this sleeved up in a few weeks when those come, and then I just gotta figure out a better storage solution. But you know, those are first world problems. There are people that don't have housing, don't have food, and here I am complaining about how I'm gonna store a card game. So very, very fortunate and lucky to be in a position in life where I'm complaining about a board game, because there are people that don't have food or don't have shelter, and it's the holiday season. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy Legendary. It's a cooperative game. If you haven't checked it out, I'd say ping one of your friends that might have it, or a board game cafe. I think that you're really gonna like the not Doctor Who. Why am I saying Doctor Who? It's What If. I'm thinking Doctor Strange, because Doctor Strange is in the What If expansion. I was browsing through that content. There's a really, really nice playmat in that What If expansion that's way better than the cardboard one playmat that's in the original core game. But I think that if you end up liking the game, if you did get the What If standalone, you're going to probably want to still pick up this core box, because there's 15 heroes in it. That's a lot of content. I think this core box is less expensive than the What If expansion, but the What If expansion is coming with that really, really nice playmat, which, well, I mean, that's going to improve your game experience. So in the long run, you're probably going to want both. But I guess my only criticism of Legendary would be that even though they just made that What If standalone core box, I think they should still remake this original core box with adding new art for the heroes. They don't need to do anything else. Almost everything, it can be exactly the same. Just add the variable art for those characters, and that would solve the criticism that I've seen most people have, is that in this core box, each hero only has one artwork across all the cards, even though there's unique different cards. In all the expansions to the game, they address that issue. And in the new What If expansion, they address that issue. But I would still like to see them reprint this core box, because it looks to me as if it's the same content from 10 years ago with nothing different. I don't know how much that would cost to do. I think like the focus is always on like new content for them, but I think it would be worth their while to just add some extra artwork to those other cards. But yeah, I just rambled for way too long to tell you that I played this a metric buttload over the past few months. I like it so much that I spent my own money to buy a bunch of stuff for it, and I really love it. So yeah, Marvel Legendary. And the most played game I played past few months has actually been a dead collectible card game. Star Wars from Decipher, the Star Wars customizable card game. The past couple of years, I've been just slowly trading with my followers to get more of this. I just picked up another big lot of Premiere stuff. I think I have all the commons and uncommons from the original set up until the set called Death Star 2. I have a lot of the rares, maybe about half of the rares in this game. And then I don't have much, if anything at all, from... They had a few more sets that followed the prequel movies. So I've been just slowly collecting this game. That's, you know, this game ended in 2001. We're in 2023, almost 2024. They stopped printing this game over 20 years ago, but because there's a new Star Wars CCG on the horizon, that rekindled my remembrance of this game from my childhood, and I'm like, you know what? I want to pick up some Star Wars. So I've been tracking this down. I've been posting about it on like Instagram and Twitter and Threads, asking everyone, hey, do you have any old Star Wars cards? I'll trade for them. And if you're watching this and you have any old Star Wars cards, send me a direct message or leave a comment, whatever. I'm trying to get complete sets of everything. I don't have anything from any of the prequel movies, so I need everything from the prequels. And then mostly I'm looking for the rares now, because I think I have all the commons and uncommons. I got plenty of board games I'll trade that I'm not using. I really love Star Wars, and this game is just a special place in my heart. So I've been spending a lot of time thinking about this, organizing the cards, making decks, and playing. They have a free program online. If you like, search for Star Wars CCG online, and then there's a program you can download to play this online. Maybe I should do some streams playing that too. Yeah, so this is the most played game, the most thought about game. If you see those memes, it's like, he's probably thinking of other women. No, he's thinking about Star Wars CCG. Yeah, so those were the top 10 games I've played past few months. What have you been playing? Let me know down in the comments. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm trying to grow out a YouTube. I know I have a sizable following on social media, but YouTube video is what I struggle with. And any thoughts or advice you can give me to become better at doing video, I will read your comments and take your criticism to and try to improve my content the best I can. But yeah, what I love about tabletop games is you have to have that in-person, face-to-face interaction. And I don't want to be stuck behind a computer screen playing video games anymore. I want to be having fun with friends. I want to not be looking at an LCD or LED or whatever. I want to rest my eyes, look at some beautiful artwork of cards, and think and conversate with people. That's why I love tabletop games. And I hope I gave you some insight into, if you were curious, what I've been playing recently and what I like and my tastes are. So yeah, hit that subscribe button to follow me on YouTube if you aren't already. And thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.